What a great day, huh?
Yeah.
Let me ask. We got some. Everybody here had a part and had a big role in making sure that we've advanced this gas line. Let me take this opportunity to invite legislators up. So, legislators, I know if you're here, would you come up and join us too? Fill in. Let's give them a hand. Also want to say thanks to you guys, Local 375. Thank you for making the most unique signing platform I've ever used for signing a bill. So thank you. Jim Sampson, thank you for that. Thanks for that introduction. To our legislators and mostly to Alaskans, we are so grateful and thankful that you're here at this historic moment. Look around at who's here today. Skilled workers. We've got some apprentices over here who we're working to secure their future. You're all here because you know how important a gas line is to Alaska's future. Whether it's the thousands of Alaska jobs that will be created or the energy that gets piped to Alaska homes and businesses, we all know the significance of a gas line. So first, let me recognize the legislature for their outstanding work and their thorough review of Senate Bill 138. I want to say thanks to Senator Anna Fairclough, who she could not be here, unfortunately, today, but she helped us carry the bill on the Senate floor. Representative Eric Feige as well. Eric, are you here? You right here? I also want to recognize the Interior delegation for their hard work in advancing a gas line. This was one of those impressive unifying efforts. I'm not going to use names here, but you can be assured that in a vote of 52-8 to pass this legislation, that this legislation was passed by everybody from every end of the spectrum and everybody in between. This is a bill in Alaska's interest, just as the gas line is. It's been a long journey to where we are today. 4 years ago, HB 369 was signed here, creating the Alaska Gasline Development Corporation. And if you remember then, all the parties were scattered in different directions. There was Denali kind of moving apart. The other producers were separated. We weren't anywhere at that point, and today we've got this historic alignment. For the first time in our history, we have together the companies that have Alaska's gas under lease. We have the Alaska Gasline Development Corporation to carry Alaskans' interests. We've got a premier pipeline builder in TransCanada. We've got authorization from the legislature on a clear path forward. And we've got early engineering and design work to do and money to do it now. So with my signature today, Alaska will be on its way to becoming an owner in the Alaska LNG project, and the project will officially get underway. As an owner, Alaskans, we stand to gain more because we're going to share in the profits of the project rather than pay them all to someone else. Senate Bill 138 also expands and empowers AGDC to carry the state's interests in the project's infrastructure. Effectively, AGDC, whose board I just had a chance to meet with before coming over, they will lead Alaska's participation in the Alaska LNG project. AGDC is also going to act with the ASAP project as our ace in the hole there by continuing to pursue the smaller volume in-state alternative, the Alaska standalone pipeline. Alaskans can be confident that one way or another, we are going to get Alaskans gas to Alaskans first. We're also going to make sure that communities that don't happen to be along the pipeline will benefit from this gas as well, and that's part of AGDC's mission. We're also committed to addressing concerns of local communities, and that's why I signed Administrative Order 269, which established the Municipal Advisory Gas Project Review Board, a meaningful venue for my administration to work together with mayors and local communities. You can be sure that my administration prioritizes Alaska residents, contractors, and businesses first as this gas line progresses. I appreciate legislators, especially one you heard about today, Senator Click Bishop, who changed everything at the very end. But he did a great job today in helping bring together the parties necessary to make today a successful event. But more than that, he included a letter of intent with this legislation that supports the Alaska Higher language laid out in the heads of agreement that my administration worked on. So let's give Senator Bishop a hand. There you are. In the coming weeks, the summer field season will begin. Millions of private sector dollars will be spent and hundreds of Alaskans will be working to refine the cost and engineering aspects of this project. Work will also continue in assessing where offtakes are needed to get Alaska's gas to Alaskans. That's a $10 charge for the cell phone going off behind me. Representative Peggy Wilson, let that be known. Our administration is going to continue to employ a phased approach, taking commensurate, proportionate steps with our partners. That means advancing this gas line on Alaska's terms and in Alaskans' interests by returning to the people's elected board of directors, the legislature, for review and approval at key decision points, just as the companies return to their boards of directors at their key decision points. In the future, when Fairbanks and other communities across the state are heating their homes and powering their businesses with North Slope gas, today it will be remembered that the Alaska LNG project began here. I'm proud to be able to sign SB 138 and get this project moving forward. I think Alaskans can build it. But before I sign the bill, a few more people need to offer some comments about the significance of the project. I'm going to ask Commissioner of Labor and Workforce Development, Diane Bloomer. Then following her will be Dan Fauske, the Executive Director of the Alaska Gasline Development Corporation. Then Mayor Charlotte Brower of the North Slope Borough, Senate President Charlie Huggins, and Speaker Mike Chenault. So let's start with Commissioner of Labor, Diane Bloomer.
I thought about coming up and being extremely brief and just saying jobs when I got up here, because that's what this means to me. But thank you, Governor, and congratulations for getting us where we are today. No matter if you're with organized labor, a private contractor, business, right here, right now, it begins a new chapter for us here in Alaska today. For the first time in our state's history, we're making significant historic progress to getting a gas line to Alaskans, like you heard the governor talk about. But even better, and most importantly for me, we're creating between possibly 9,000 to 15,000 jobs. So that's huge for Alaska, and it's a wonderful place for us to be in. The Department of Labor and Workforce Development, my department, the Department of Labor and Workforce Development, is committed to making sure that Alaskans are prepared and qualified to take these jobs. There's an old ancient proverb that says, if you want 100 years of prosperity, grow people. Sorry, I'm not tall enough. If you want 100 years of prosperity, grow people. And that's what we need to do. All of us throughout the state will need to play a part in getting our workforce ready, getting our young people ready to work in the gas pipe on the pipeline, and then maintaining that same project. Upon approval of the construction of this project, we will make sure that individual Alaskans and Alaskan businesses get dibs first. That's the Department of Labor's commitment. We'll utilize Alaska Job Service Centers, and we'll be the first to inform Alaskans on available jobs relating to the project. So the best is yet to come. There's many other people who want to say a few things, but I just want to say this is a really exciting time for all of us, and a very exciting time for the Department of Labor, even though it's a huge challenge. Next week, the Department of Labor will be releasing our updated workforce development plan for oil and gas projects. And when we were talking about this the other day, we were thinking, just think the students who are just getting into high school now will be the people who are working on this gas line. So that's pretty exciting. Everyone loves a comeback story, and we're just beginning. So thank you all for being here, and thank you, a sincere thank you to you, Governor. So thanks.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Dan Fauske. It's a real pleasure and honor for me to be here. Thank you, Governor.
Let me help you.
Oh, I love this town. It's just that the governor helps it. This is kind of a double whammy for me on this bill. I mean, I go back, had a wonderful, beautiful career at HFC. I was asked Representative Chenault, Representative Hawker, the governor, Senator McGuire, and others if I'd be part of a team to help write a report. So I said, yeah, we'll do it. And it was a lot of hard work, and the legislature put a team together, and the governor got it going. And I really entered the whole thing kind of going, I don't know if this is going to work. And it did. We came back, and I was just absolutely pleasantly surprised that a smaller line, if the big line didn't go, that there was some real option and to get gas going to our citizens. At the same time, we started out HB 369, then we went into HB 9, then we went into HB 4, and now SB 138. and it's been, 5 years? It's just been a joy for me. But on this, it's a double whammy because many of you know I'm kind of a barrel boy at heart. I lived there for many years. My dear friend Mayor Charlotte Brower, her husband Eugene, Jake Adams, a dear friend, his wife Lucille. Jake Adams was on the Borough Assembly when we were working 20-some years, almost 30 years ago, on the tax cap formula. And for many of you don't know, but HB 379 got rolled into this bill at the 11th hour of the legislature, and I want to thank the legislature. That's an issue that needed to be fixed for so long, and the governor and others. And so it's just kind of another just real pleasant surprise. We're poised to advance the gas pipeline project forward. It's the greatest advanced position that we ever had in the state. You just got to check your history. And all the players are here, and they're moving in the right direction. You have the governor, the legislature, the industry, our native regional corps, citizens of the state of Alaska. We've got a lot of work yet ahead to do. But I think we're in the best position we've ever been, and we keep making advancements. Every time I go out, and there's always negative attitude, but they're not negative, they're just kind of hopeful. We have a poster in our office that says gas to Fairbanks. It's from the 1954 Daily News Miner. So you can see why people get a little bit maybe hesitant. But I just want to encourage all of you to be diligent, effective, resourceful, and the main thing, stay positive. Just look where we're at today. Look where these legislators and the governor and the people of this state have brought us. And I just think that we're just something really great is going to happen. I'm just so proud and happy to be a part of it. So thank you very much.
And I've asked Mayor Brower of the North Slope Borough to speak to their portion of the bill as well.
Good afternoon. I do have a loud voice. Thanks, Jim. Thank you very much, Governor Parnell, for allowing me to speak on this significant era in our time that we Alaskans never think that we'd come to see as a fruition. And this doesn't go without teamwork, without many discussion, without many long, late hours of our state legislatures leaving their families behind and trying to come up with a good solution as to what we all Alaskans can come together to accept. And I'm very honored to say, as Dan Fauske stated, we've watched this bill went through many Senate bills, but Senate Bill 138 definitely signifies a collaborative effort. And it's a dream that one person would ever want, and that is a person who has many people that would love to work in this type of work. In addition to the Alaska LNG project, this signifies jobs for many people, not only from the North Slope, but within Fairbanks, all the way as far away that you can go. This is a legacy project that everyone is going to talk about, but one that we'll do better than the pipeline days, and how Fairbanks had to work very hard in order to have many people all at once. But you're prepared. I know you are prepared. Senate Bill 138 is a historic significance for my North Slope Borough because we were allowed to bring an amendment that signifies what the work that has been going on for 40 years, and that has to do with the tax cap modifier. We did not change the way the tax cap is. We just allowed a modifier to be in existence so that our borough can work on its operation and maintenance and still maintain capital improvement projects. It is a very expensive operating expense, and as we've heard very eloquently by Senator Fairclough, we went from billions of dollars to $300 million. So it goes to show that we are very serious about our finances and hoping that one day that we'd be debt-free, and this will allow us. I also want to give thanks to the individuals that have worked behind the scenes, my chief advisor, administrative advisor, Jacob Adams, who had the government affairs for the borough, who worked tirelessly with his staff in working with legislators, and there were many significant times that he's spent time on. I also want to thank Governor Parnell for his support for the people of the North Slope. We will not forget, for allowing us to attach the bill to Senate Bill 138. And I also want to thank Senator Mike Chenault for your support in the House side, and also Senator Charlie Huggins, who is a good friend of our armed forces from North Slope. So everyone knows who Charlie Chenault is. Did I just say that? Charlie Huggins, he is quite familiar with the ATG. That's why you gave me notes there, John. Lastly, I want to thank Representative Benjamin Narek, who is one of our own Inupiaq legislature, who submitted a bill and decided that if he wanted to see this go through, and asked that this be attached to Senate Bill 138. And Benny, you are a true champion to our people of the North Slope. I want to thank you all behind me, especially those that are sitting way in the back behind the legislatures, who are the board of directors for the AGDC. So they have worked very significantly in alignment with Governor Parnell's wish, along with the wishes of the people. So I'm very thankful to know that I have friends in there. I've served with John Burns when he was a former Attorney General. I've known Drew Pierce for many years, and then your executive director, of course, I knew him from the time he lived in Barrow. But thank you all for coming together in support of what we are here today, and thank you, my friend Click Bishop, for having a foresight. After all, we both worked in workforce development. That's never going to go away. I want to thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mayor Brower. I can tell you one of the reasons that Mayor Brower is so excited is because she just reported to me the geese have arrived up in Barrow. And if you think Mayor Brower's excited, you look at Jake Adams. He's already got a whale. Is that right, Jake? Huh? All right. And Jake has invited me. Jake has invited me up, I think, around the 28th of June for a big get-together and celebration of all those kinds of things. What I would like to do very quickly, just ask those members of the Senate to just please raise your right hand. Yeah, and say on behalf of all Alaska, say thank you to those senators and the others that were there to be able to vote for Senate Bill 138. Where is that Senator Chenault anyway, huh? Mike Chenault. My good friend Mike Chenault. And there he is. I tell you what, he's from Nikiski. We call that Lower Mat-Su from where I live. But in all seriousness, in working through scenarios like this, I mean, this is a world-renowned legacy project, and we're sitting here talking like it was something we did out on our back porch. I mean, this is big stuff. That's Bernie Carl. Is that right, Bernie? What do you reckon?
It's bigger than the world.
All right, you heard it from Bernie. Now, things like that do not happen in a vacuum. And I just like to turn to my right and point to my good friend Sean Parnell, our governor, and say thank you for the leadership on this project. As my speech teacher once said, be bold, be brief, and be seated. And I'm fixing to be seated in just a second. You know, I came to the legislature in 2003. Since that time, I've dealt with 4 different pipeline scenarios. This one's going to happen. This one is going to happen because it's gas for Alaskans first, and it has people like you that are behind it. Across. It doesn't matter whether you're from Barrow or whether you're from the lowest part of the Kenai Peninsula, potentially southeast Alaska. For each of you, I congratulate you for picking a good cause, recognizing the fruits of good labor, and let's build that pipeline. God bless America.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie, for the comments. Not a lot left to say. I think that that's why they have me there, because there's just not a lot left to say. You know, I'd like to first off thank the governor for being bold enough to bring forth a piece of legislation that will bring gas to Alaskans. We talked about alignment. Alignment is the most important piece, I think, of this project, and we have all the pieces in play to bring forth a project. So my hopes and wishes are that AGDC and the oil companies put together the plan that does bring gas to Alaskans. Jim, you were talking earlier about click, and I noticed something around here I really don't like to see, because as some of you know, I do come from the oil industry in the Cook Inlet. And what I don't like to see is all these nice, clean, pretty new trucks sitting here. What I want to see is dirt, welding lead, pipe clamps on these trucks out in the field putting pipe together. So I have I guess my final comment would be is, how about giving them a 2-joint head start, and let's turn on the valve and let's get gas to Alaskans.
Why 2-joint? Why not just one?
You gotta have something to weld to it.
So now that moment we've all been waiting for, I'm going to sign the bill. And once again, I want to say thanks to the apprentices over here, Local 375, for making this beautiful signing table. It's incredible. And if I could ask, let's see. No, I don't want to cover up our apprentices back here. I was going to ask you to shift, but I'm going to sign right here. In case you can't see it, there is a signing table behind the pipe. The bill has been authenticated by the Senate President Charlie Huggins, by the Speaker of the House Mike Chenault, as well as the Secretary of the Senate and Chief Clerk of the House. So here, yeah, come on in. So here on May 8th, 2014, I, Sean Parnell, Governor of Alaska, have signed SB 138 into law. And you all know as Alaskans that it's going to take all of us working together to make this happen. I'm going to keep my signing pen. But we do have pins for you legislators. So thank you all for coming. Thanks for making this a wonderful start to an incredible project that's meant for Alaskans. Let's go build it.